The first thing to remember about MGTOW is a man who has bitten the metaphorical red pill has discovered the unpleasant reality about female nature. Women are portrayed as attractive and innocent creatures, but the truth is that any woman nowadays will tear out your heart and testicles through your wallet and other possessions. They move on to their next victim without hesitation. In the process, they usually have no guilt or shame. Taking the red tablet then is causing you to become more aware of how women function and stop being ignorant about it. There are 4 or 5 different levels to achieving MGTOW status. The purple pill man is the first level. This is the man who understands how women exploit men by using the government, the courts, and men's drive to reproduce. The purple pill man believes that the dangers of dating and marriage are often worth the possible punishment. Dating and short-term relationships are acceptable to a level 2 MGTOW, but marriage, long-term relationships, and cohabitation are not. These to him are deadly. A level 3 MGTOW has no interest in dating women and keeps his interactions with them to a minimum. A level 4 MGTOW also strives to keep his dealings with the state and others to a minimum. He's what's known as a ghosting guy, or a man who tries to blend into the background and avoids being noticed by women and the authorities. So, once you've determined where you lie on the spectrum, you can either avoid women totally or face various relationship risks. Then you can begin to develop actual situational awareness. This is where you learn to recognize distinct sorts of female behavior and to realize what drives women to behave in certain ways. One thing to keep in mind is that today's women in their 20s are riding the cock ring in greater numbers than previous generations. This means they have no strings attached sex with dozens of guys before opting to settle down with a single man, if they settle down at all. Women like to marry a beta male provider, a blue pill man who has little to no knowledge of female psychology, who'll be more readily manipulated if he doesn't understand how women work. A man who understands how women work in society and how they use men in covert ways is more difficult to guilt and humiliate into doing what she wants. He's played the game before, therefore he'll be more difficult to dupe into marital security and resource exploitation. After a woman persuades her beta male blue pill man that marriage is a beneficial move for him, he marries her. Then she has a child or two, which allows her to quit the relationship and use the children as a means of obtaining child support from her husband. People frequently ask why men go their own way, and one of the most common reasons is that they have been burnt by women in the divorce courts, and they are often forced to pay lifetime child support and alimony to their ex-wives. In many circumstances, family courts award women the whole worth of the family house. Men in their 30s, 40s, and 50s comprise the majority of those that visit this YouTube channel. Men who have been brought to the cleaners and whose eyes have been opened a little bit too late. They've become MGTOWs because they're appalled by how women exploited them. They're also here to learn about how women deceive guys with their beauty and demeanor. Another thing to keep in mind is that women age like milk and men age like wine. As women reach the age of 30, their appearance and ability to attract a wealthy, attractive male disintegrates significantly. Men's attractiveness rises with age, given the fact that they make more money and have larger savings and assets. Women's earnings potential is generally correlated with their appearance, especially after having children. Around the age of 30, male and female qualities cross and then shift in the opposite way. If a man isn't married by the age of 35 or 40, he has a 12% probability of getting married. Another reason why males should go their own way from that point forward is because of rubbish tests. Women frequently put men to the test in terms of their ability to support and tolerate their terrible behavior. The goal is to transform a man into a meek, damaged shell of his former self who constantly says, "Yes, honey." In many circumstances, his spirit must be broken in order for his resources to be more easily drained and for him to be more flexible. A woman asking a man to do anything ridiculous is not being kind or displaying affection. Rather, she is putting him to the test to see if he can be controlled. And ironically, women desire to control men. Once they're successful, they lose interest. When it comes to love, there are sometimes doubts about whether women are capable of loving men in the same way that men do. Men climb mountains because they want women. They travel across oceans, invent things, write poetry, and they do so much more. Women don't appear to be hardwired for the same level of love as men, which is partly owing to the fact that women must care for children and must divert resources elsewhere. Men are encouraged to man up and take responsibilities while women are selfish. We don't want to be held accountable for the immature women who have abandoned their own duties but continue to expect us guys to provide for them due to their golden vagina. women refer to a man's attempt to live for himself as a midlife crisis. They need counseling, and they try to humiliate him into submission again. Men, on the other hand, are meant to tolerate a woman's hot flashes and mood swings during menopause. Nikola Tesla, a lifelong bachelor, is a person we most admire. Many of the technology we use today were invented by him. Do you think he could have invented what he did if he had a wife and family to support? Most MGTOWs also avoid long-term relationships since women already have a number of male buddies that they may call on for various purposes. Women have the female equivalent of a male harem. One man to sleep with, another to fund her, another to use as an emotional tampon, and yet others for multiple purposes. The modern woman cannot be satisfied by one man, and the sooner men grasp this, the sooner they may go their own way. Many males these days are unable to secure dates or relationships because they appear to be unappealing to women. Some guys even travel abroad in search of foreign women to marry, which is also a terrible choice because female nature is the same everywhere. Bringing a foreign bride back to a Western country almost always results in her leaving you. Many times, foreign women marry foreign men simply to acquire a new passport, and once in the new country, they discover more handsome males. What gives you the impression that she won't leave you behind if she left her own country? Synthetic lovers are another option for males in search of love. People in Japan pay for affection, discussion, and sex, and these demands are typically supplied in a service setting. There appears to be a small percentage of women who are not interested in marrying men for their money and resources, but who actually care about men. A woman like this is rare, and she looks like a purple squirrel or a unicorn. Women are also embracing innovative communication technology, such as smartphones and computers, to expand their pool of potential men, which has led to them being more selective about the men they date. Because of modern technology, women can continue to look for a man even if they already have a perfectly good one at home. Please study more about MGTOWs and consider making it a lifestyle choice if you believe it has worth. I'm confident you will regardless. Thank you for listening and taking your daily dose of bread tablets.